Hello, my sister. Welcome back to Every Piece of Me Matters. I am your host, Cindy Holden, and it's good to see you tonight. I'm here. All right. I need a breath. I need a moment. Want to be consistent in what let's say, what the mission is, right? Every piece of me matters is a channel designed for women who are ready to embrace every part of themselves. No part left behind. And I am here tonight. In our episode tonight, I want to give some follow up or some feedback to the episode from last week titled The Mirror Don't Lie, or Does It? Boy, I've got some feedback for you, some pretty interesting, but it has put me in a place of re examining my own self in the mirror. So, as we dive in tonight, come on and take a breath with me. I really need a breath. It's been a long day today. I may need a few breaths. So here's the invitation at the count of 3. Inhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3. I need another one for grounding. I think I'm going to get a stretch with that one. And here is a reminder for myself, and you can remind yourself too. Every piece of me matters. The parts that I know, and even the parts that I'm still learning about. So last week, I think I piqued a lot of people's curiosity as it relates to the mirror don't lie. And it wasn't what some people thought it was going to be, right? And so some of the feedback was, especially as it related to the exercise of looking at yourself in the mirror. And then that question, what do you see? What do you see? Some people talked about the externals, things that they saw. And then there was a question about something that I said. When you look at yourself in the mirror, there's an image that shows up, right? So you see a reflection, and that image is you. But then there is that image that we carry on the inside. So the mirror shows what it shows. But the interpretation, that comes from within. And so there were some questions about that. You know, the filter, when we look in the mirror, what we see is filtered through a lot of different things. Our experiences, and then there's something that I thought about, our core beliefs. What do I believe about myself? And what is that based on? What has helped to shape that? So there was some good feedback again, questions about that. And so in response to that, the mirror don't lie. It tells the truth about what it sees. The mole that I have on the side of my face, the little blemish that's here, the mirror shows that. So it doesn't lie in that aspect. At the same time, it does not tell the whole story. The mirror does not tell the whole story. What we see and say and know about ourselves, that comes from within. That's that inner dialogue. And again, what is it filtered through? I'm challenged with something myself on a day. I'm outing myself. Here comes, I call it the ministry of transparency. It's been a full week this week, and in the work that I do, as sitting with people and hearing and holding the space and listening to what they're going through, I realized when I finished today that, I got a lot of anxiety. I'm feeling very anxious. And so going back to the mirror, I did that. I just took a few moments and I kind of glanced in the mirror, right? Before I started this podcast, I looked in the mirror. And what I saw when I looked in the mirror, I saw some tiredness. Where did I see it? Like around my eyes. So that external part. And then I just stood just for another minute or so. And then I could hear, right, that internal mirror, the meaning, the interpretation begin to speak and say, what are you going to talk about tonight? Thinking about the podcast. You know you got something planned. Are you going to go with that? And oh, what are you going to say? And how are you going to present this? That chatter was gone. I'm telling you, my filter was on full alert, right? And so there was a part of me that was experiencing the anxiety and wanting to have things in order. Because typically I get to spend time thinking about, what I'm going to say and the points that I want to make. Can I tell you that all of that, a lot of that is out the window. I wanted to give the feedback about, last week, and I've done that. But I'm just tapping into that part of myself that's really feeling anxious tonight. And I have some clue as to why I'm feeling anxious. There's a part of me, and here's again that inner dialogue, that it matters to me what I say. It matters to me that I present, I call it the spirit of excellence, right? And I present and I speak to women. But it also matters that I'm authentic. And so I'm all over the place tonight. That's what I'm really trying to say, y'all. See, that part of me is still trying to get it together. I am flawsome. That's what one of my dear friends, Miss V, she says, I'm flawsome. And so the flawsome is coming out on tonight. The things that I want to say, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in there. But there's a part of me that needs to be reassured. You're showing up, you're speaking up, and what you have to say, it matters. Somebody needs to hear that even with anxiety or other feelings or emotions, maybe you're feeling a little blah. Talk to a lot of people who were feeling meh. That was their response when I checked in. How are you feeling today? That was the response, meh. And then when I pushed a little further, we're feeling a little down. Yeah, feeling somewhat down today. And so, in looking in the mirror before I came on tonight, I realized that along with a little tiredness, there's some anxiety and feeling a little anxious. But it is okay because every piece of me matters. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. I don't have to have it all together. I said in the beginning, as I relaunched this podcast, I didn't have all the details, and I still don't. But what I do have is what the mission is for this podcast, is to speak to women and encourage them to embrace every part of themselves, whether you understand it or not. There's a purpose. It matters. That part of you matters. It's not a good part or a bad part. It's just a part of you that is necessary, that I'm going to even say that is really critical. And me and you embracing our whole selves. Nothing need be left behind. No part need to be left behind. So tonight, I feel myself starting to settle down, because one thing I know more than one, but one thing I know This is right where I'm supposed to be. And so in those times where maybe you're feeling something different than what you started off, like unprepared, yeah, or you had something that you set out to do, and then life showed up and knocked you off course, so to speak. Learning how to roll with the resistance, roll with those moments where I didn't see this coming. You are resilient. Not only are you resilient, you matter. You are enough. And so what I give to you, I've given to myself. I've talked, it seems like quite a few times this week, people are saying that, I give, I pour out, I pour out. And I just feel like there's nothing poured into me. And it just made me think of a cup. Typically, when I'm sitting at my desk, I either have a bottle of water or here's my cup. And so right now, my cup is pretty much empty. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little drop in there. And so I gave the illustration to one of the people I was having a discussion with. I gave the illustration of having a cup. Right. And so throughout the course of the day, drinking or pouring out of the cup, and then you look and it's just a drop. That drop is what I would pour out. I'm just being transparent until the cup is empty. And so what I'm coming to know is it's okay to pour out, but being able to pour into myself. And this part here, asking for what I need from others. And so in that, and having that conversation, it led to a lot of other things about how difficult it can be asking for what I need, or someone asking for what they need from others. Why? Because I've labeled myself, here it goes, as the giver. I've come to know myself, that part of me that gives, but giving with balance. And so that's what I'm experiencing today. That's where some of the anxiety, I've given out, I've poured out so much today. And so right now in this moment, I'm reminding myself, every piece of me matters. And so whether I skip from last week to maybe next week or some other week, I'm here. I matter. I am enough. I am worthy. And someone is receiving this message today. Whether I understand it or not, someone else is getting the message. So I'm not going to keep you too long today, but I do want to share just this one thing, and it was from last week. When it comes to looking in the mirror, I'm going to read it. All right. When it comes to looking in the mirror, I want to encourage you that what you see, because we do see, it does not have to define you. It does not. Not just the externals. Whatever that filter is that you are looking through, whatever you are believing, be it positive, negative, indifferent, whatever. Check the facts. What are the receipts? Is what's coming up, is that really true? Or are you believing it to be true? And if it is, what is shaping that? I mentioned as a believer, and God and my relationship with Jesus Christ. I remember, I've mentioned this before, the scripture about being fearfully and wonderfully made. I didn't believe that. I spoke it, I said it, from a well-meaning place. And it took some time for me to connect with that I was fearfully and wonderfully made, that I am enough, and other things. And so, being able to take a look at the things that are shaping you, the environments that you're in, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, and how that contributes to what you see and say about yourself. We do, and when I say we, I'm people, you people, I'm human, you human. There is a need to be seen, heard, loved, and cared for on an emotional level. And sometimes that does not happen the way that we need it or desired for it to happen. And so, as an adult, I have learned, right? I can be seen by others, and that may be helpful. But do I see me? Do I see me? Can I hear me? Because it's what I'm seeing and saying about myself, and the filter or the automatic lens or the beliefs that I have, that's really what's going to make a difference. I can have 100 people say, girl, you got it going on. Oh, I just love you. You speak well. The things that you say are really uplifting and da 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 da. And in a moment, it can feel so good. It can feel very uplifting and edifying. But if I don't believe that for myself, if I don't embrace that myself, if I am not in alignment with that, then I'll just walk around and say something else. And so that can bring up a lot of anxiety, depression, other feelings and emotions. So if you haven't received anything else, here's one thing I want to encourage you to consider. The mirror doesn't lie, but it does not tell the whole story. Sis, you've got a story. You know what you've been through. But even in your story, it does not have to be the final episode. You can rewrite your story. You can walk in the fullness of knowing that every piece of you matters. The part that is healed and the part that is healing. When you can acknowledge that every piece of you matters, it opens you up to let you know that healing is possible. So, as we close for tonight, I'm going to practice some what my shirt says. I don't know if you can see that. Self-Care University. I'm going to practice some self-care. And I invite and encourage you to do the same too. For tonight, check in with yourself and see what came up for you, if anything. Being able to sit with that and reflect. Even if there was a little resistance, that's okay too. Why? Because every piece of you really does matter. So, the mirror doesn't lie, but it doesn't tell the whole story either. It may not speak, and it does not, I should say, speak of your growth, your resilience, your survival. You get to tell that. So, until next week, I'm your host, Cindy Holden. I will see you right back here at our channel. Every piece of you matters. Good night.